Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Today I have a new guest. Let's welcome him, Vasant Bhatt. Vasant, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
So Vasant, you've been closely tracking the SB-509. It's been voted and approved by both the Assembly and the Senate, and it's now on the desk of the governor, Gavin Newsom. We don't know what is going to be the fate of that bill. And you've been tracking this closely. Talk to us a little bit about, I always say this is a waste of taxpayer money because much of the stuff that is there is already covered elsewhere and it's just a waste of taxpayer. That's just my view. You've been tracking this closely. What do you feel is going to happen?
Yeah, so right now, obviously I'm very optimistic. A lot of people have reached out to Gavin Newsom. HAF and CoHNA have been creating petitions. We've been flooding his office with phone calls. And SB-509 is, one of those bills on paper. It claims to be about defending vulnerable communities, right? From something called transnational repression. But when you actually read the bill and look at who's behind this bill, it becomes clear that this bill is politically motivated. It's dangerously vague, and it's completely, like you said, it's a completely unnecessary piece of legislation that could have far-reaching consequences, especially for Hindu Americans and Indian origin communities across California. So, like SB-403, I hope, Gavin Newsom does the right thing and vetoes this bill.
Yeah, let's hope so. And one of the things I've noticed in various departments in California, I've been following the caste, lawsuit against Cisco Systems by the CRD. And even though the main people accused have been acquitted, and now the judge has also allowed the name of John Doe to be released, the CRD still does not want to give up. They want something. Say, we got to win from this, regardless of the fact that there's no meat in the whole thing. I'm sorry to say, the case has no legs at all, and still they want to get something out of it. Likewise, see, SB-403 got squashed at the governor's desk. Now SB-509. I see the similar mindset that we got to get something out to put some people under pressure. And those of us who see through this thing, we have expressed our concern. Governor Gavin Newsom, what do you think his thought process is? Is he going to veto this also, in your opinion, or he's still kind of looking around and weighing the pros and cons?
Yeah, I mean, I think the constitutional stakes make this problem very dangerous to ignore, right? Like once, Californians are, forced to weigh every word against the possibility of being reported, being investigated, right? Free expression ceases to function as a constitutional right. And what emerges as a result is not a climate of open discourse, but, of self-censorship. And you have a society where people are policing their own thoughts. And SB-509 sort of entrenches this danger. And, California is facing tons of issues right now, rampant crime, homelessness, obviously the cost of living is very high, crumbling infrastructure. And, you have Democratic lawmakers in the state who are prioritizing a symbolic piece of legislation over the immediate need of Californians. And so this bill is just another wasteful exercise in political grandstanding that is consuming resources available to the public while doing nothing to actually enhance security. And, I think, in effect, whole communities risk being treated less as American citizens exercising their First Amendment rights than as potential proxies of foreign powers. And so in 2023, when lawmakers in California tried to advance SB-403, Gavin Newsom was compelled to veto it. And so this bill repeats the same mistake. It erodes constitutional protections, and it sort of sparks lasting mistrust among Californian citizens. So I think Newsom has, faced this choice before. And, I think signing this bill would really expand state power over, free speech. And, it's a waste of taxpayer money. And it would hand California law enforcement a very vague mandate, and it risks criminalizing dissent. And so, I think Governor Newsom is very well aware of these issues. And, I think he's faced this choice before, and he made the right choice with SB-403. So I am highly optimistic that he will make the right choice with SB-509.
Thank you so much, Vasant. And I'm not going to name people, but many famous Indian Americans quietly weighed in the ear of Gavin Newsom about the harms that SB-403 would, cause to the society. And those were some of the main reasons why he said, okay, well, this needs to be vetoed. There is no reason for this. Plus, there is already the law covering this. So I think, if you think about similarities between SB-403 and SB-509, I don't see much of a difference, because SB-509 also, right? It looks harmless, that it wants to train people to be sensitive towards these things, but California state has already had these programs. Some have been already trained. So I'm kind of struggling with what exactly is it that this thing wants to achieve, except that, it seems to be wasting a lot of taxpayer money. That's just my personal comment. I would like you to kind of bring it in, and then we can wrap this thing up. Over to you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The problem is, not just the vague and sweeping definitions embedded in this bill. Obviously terms like online harassment, digital threats, the impropering label of descendants, that could easily be stretched to cover ordinary political speech. And the bigger problem is that, training on transnational repression already exists at a federal level. Agencies like the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security already provide guidance and training to address these very threats. California law enforcement officers already have access to federal materials. So SB-509 therefore adds no new capability. And, I think, this bill, there are no clear standards of criminal conduct. And that's the danger, right? Like, it's not the logistics of the program itself, right? But it's, the idea of recasting, political disagreements as something to be managed by law enforcement. And the way that this bill has sort of been brought up, right? There were allegations. Obviously, this bill trains TNR as a threat to individuals, and this bill aims to hold foreign governments accountable, and provide victim support services. And it frames TNR as a threat to democratic institutions and national security in California. But there is no evidence that these things have occurred in California in the first place. So this legislation is just another expansive overreach in search of a problem. And I am optimistic that this bill will be struck down.
Thank you so much. And it was wonderful talking to you, Vasant. I'm hoping to have you back on various different topics so that we can have a very informed discussion here. Thank you once again. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Namaskar.